Everybody, welcome to a new episode of Watch or Not with Jay and MJ. I'm Jay.
I'm MJ.
So, I was a little late this morning, and here's why.
Oh my god. It's
Because
always like a tale.
I had to remember, I forgot that we were doing these on camera now, and like what I normally wear is like dupadelic. So I was like, I have to like actually think about like an outfit.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and just for the listeners, even your dumpadelic doesn't look bad.
Well, thank
It's
you.
better than most people who would go out on a normal day.
I mean, I appreciate that. I've done it on purpose, but it's just I'm in my straight bro weekend.
Well, the vest is a little, yeah.
Yeah, but yesterday I was wearing
God.
I was wearing some Vans high tops and like a pair
What?
of joggers, and then I was wearing like a hoodie
Yeah.
under a denim jacket with the backwards hat. Oh,
You were all about it.
as long as I didn't say anything to anybody, they'd have been like, "Who's that
You,
strapping black dude?"
you, you would have walked up and like, hey, bro,
Yeah.
how's it going?
That would have been like, "Hey, bro, what's going? Or what's going on?
Oh,
How are we? How are you?"
Tell
and
me
then-
about what you have on.
So I had to continue that vibe with the backwards hat and the vest and nobody.
No,
knows.
I appreciate it. We're both wearing hats today,
You're
which is
welcome.
very uncommon.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And also, I didn't feel like I didn't get a haircut this week, so my hair.
That I had to like trim my own beard up today, and it freaked me out that I did it.
Oh,
Like I cleaned up the edges a little bit and like cleaned up my neck and
I have like shaky. I have like I'm like
shaky old man hands. So you don't want to line.
trying to pour juice into a cup, like.
So what you're telling me is no one wants you to line them up.
Like, have you seen those TikToks when people are like, they're like obvious, they know their toddler's not gonna be able to pick this jug of juice up, but they're like, they give them the smallest thimble, and they're like, hey, pour this in, and they're like, just like, and they have to tilt the thing onto the ground.
Well, when the
It's
jug's the same size as the baby.
yeah, that's I'm rickety.
Just-
that's how rickety I am. I mean, you know I got it,
Yeah.
but you're like, this could go another
Oh my
way.
gosh.
Okay, guys. So today we're gonna discuss. We're kind of playing a little loosey goosey. Like we obviously have a new TV party of 3.
Always.
We have our review, which is going to be over that 90s show,
Oh my gosh, yes.
but we've watched like a couple of new shows that we're just gonna kind of like chat about a little bit,
Yeah.
and we have some things to say about the story from Netflix CEO who said they've never canceled any popular show.
Yeah,
So-
we're gonna discuss what he defines. We'll get into it.
I have comments. So, first off, you said you started to watch, because I saw it pop up on Netflix, that Physical 100 show.
Yes.
What the hell is that about? All I know is that there's tons of muscular Asians on it, and that intrigues me.
So it is. The whole premise is they take 100 Korean people. It's a Korean-based TV show.
Okay.
Some of them actually aren't Korean. Some are like people who just live in Korea. So like a German model one.
Oh,
So they bring in
okay,
some people,
okay.
but they all speak Korean. But
Mhm.
it's dubbed, so you don't have to read the subtitles.
Mhm.
But they're all athletic or have a really, really nice physique, like you said. So they're models, they're MMA fighters, they're
Yeah.
CrossFitters. There's a whole category of what they could be. And the whole purpose
Muscular, so I need to know.
Yes, and the whole purpose is they're trying to figure out, negating age, gender, whatever, who
Mhm.
has the best physique. Is it a CrossFitter? Is it a powerlifter? Like, so they go through and have these challenges, which slowly eliminate the competitors until they come up with a final, like who could last the longest.
Like a posing challenge?
So the first one we watched last night, they have what are called quests, and each quest knocks out so many. But before they had the quest, they'd had a competition that would determine like, okay, if you beat this or win this competition, you get an advantage in the quest. So the first competition was hang from this bar the longest, and whoever hangs the longest is the winner. So it was like a 30-minute thing where people were like, okay, I'm gonna do this. We're talking, oh, that person's still up there. So it was a little
Boring.
choppy. The first one, yes. But the actual advantage is if you were in the top 50 of who won, you get to pick your opponent in the actual quest. And the quest is you have 3 minutes to be in an arena, and there's a ball, and whoever has the ball last wins. But you can do anything to get that ball. You can fight, wrestle, throw someone across the ring, whatever you want to do to hold on to that ball.
I mean, you just put a fat dude in there and game over.
Well, the powerlifter dropped after 0.2 seconds. He's like up on the rig. He's like, oh, I'm going to hold. Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, like in the ring part.
True. But literally, the thing that got me was one of these MMA fighters walks into that first where they're about to start hanging challenge, and there's numbers all on the ground. He goes, "Is this real life Squid Game?" And it's what everybody's thinking. It seems to be like that.
Okay, we'll
Except
see.
they don't kill you.
I mean, I don't know if I'm intrigued or not, but we'll see.
But it is a lot of like very muscular people just showing their physique the whole time.
I mean, that could be fun for a little bit, but afterwards, I just start to feel bad about myself. So there's that. So I did watch. It's been a couple weeks. I did watch the premiere of The Real Friends of WeHo. Did you watch the premiere?
I didn't watch the premiere. So me and Emily watched Rue this last week and carried on into the new episode where it was the engagement party.
Yes, I didn't watch this week, so I'm already off.
We were like, let's just give it a try. We've never watched a housewife show. Let's go into it. We got 3 minutes in, and we both go, no, not for us.
See, I think what makes me angry about it is the fact that the show is one where there's so many contradictions with this.
Like with the people, or
with the people, with our community as a whole, because it's like we are a community, I will say, for the most part, that is obsessed with fame and looking amazing and doing this and doing this and doing that and whatever, what have you. But then when a show comes out about gays who are famous and who have, all that, we're all like, well, we don't want that. And it's like, okay, well, for a community that strives for that all the time, it's weird for us. It's weird for me to be, for our community to be like, well, we universally just don't want this. We want real people. And it's like, well, you people aren't even real people. So what's the point? But that's one point that's like, what have you?
Because who was the one that was causing the most drama? And I don't know any of the people who are in the show, honestly.
Todrick Hall.
The bald black guy.
Oh, Dorian.
Yes, I don't know Dorian.
I started this only knowing who two people were.
Oh, okay.
I knew who Brad Goreski was because I watched Drag Race Canada, and he's a guest judge he's a judge on there.
Okay.
I knew who Todrick Hall was because I
saw
know
him
who
in the
Todrick
preview.
Hall is.
Yep.
So he was the only one. Those were the only two that I knew. Now,
and they're regulars on the show.
All six of them are regulars.
So Todrick is one of the WeHo people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was where that's where the second part of the drama came in, because people have universally panned Todrick because of the controversy with the whole paying the dancers thing.
Yeah.
And then there was the thing on Big Brother, which I didn't watch Celebrity Big Brother.
I didn't either. I don't know what's going on with that.
But I think he was just vicious and cutthroat in it. But I'm like, it's Big Brother. You're supposed to be. So I don't care. I don't know what happened with that.
But it's celebrity, but whatever.
Yeah, who cares? But I think the biggest, I don't really dislike. I don't really have a visceral reaction to him.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I decided I didn't get down with him like that was a few years ago when we had Louisville Pride and he was the headliner, and I was like, oh that'd be cool to go out,
big name,
support, and do whatever. And the set was probably 30 minutes long. He was probably on stage for 10 minutes of it.
So the rest were his dancers?
Yeah, or him in the backstage changing a costume. I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but I will tell you that he wasn't on stage for more than half of that 30 minutes he was on. It was the shortest performance I think I've ever seen.
And you probably paid like $60 to go see it?
No, I mean it was definitely like it was like a Pride thing where
it was down at the waterfront kind of thing.
No, this was Louisville Pride, so it was on Bardstown Road where they blocked it off. So it's the same kind of deal.
Gotcha.
But I'm like, I think about people who were like the year after that we had Lizzo at the Kentucky Pride.
Yeah,
and that bitch, it was fucking 100 degrees. It was humid. That bitch was out there for an hour
with that flute,
shaking her fucking ass off
with that flute.
No, not with this one, but But this was for like she really kind of the year before she like really blew up.
Yeah, I get it.
So I was like, contrast these performances, like that was a fucking waste. So I would never show money for your concert because this was just a shot of what I felt your concert would be. So that's why I didn't like him, just because I was like, whatever. But I think it's what makes me mad is that the cast is half black, and it sucks that in a gay TV show that we finally have a show where 3 of the cast members are black. And it's a show that just isn't going to be a good show. And that really makes me angry.
It just, and the thing that turns me off is they're trying to mirror, in my mind, kind of like the Real Housewives shows.
Which they are.
And those are just drama. And at some point, I just don't want to watch that much drama.
I think it's okay. I think the thing is, where I have to disconnect is because the housewives, you kind of don't really. They're trying to make a name for themselves
Yeah.
because they don't really have one. I think they kind of chose like I look at the guy. There's one black guy named Curtis Hamilton, and I believe he played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton.
Oh,
And
okay.
like on the first episode, his first scene, he's talking with Issa Rae, who's the creator of Insecure.
Yeah.
Love Issa Rae. And I was
Issa Rae's great.
I was like, okay, great. And he's talking about how he's not really out in the industry. He's just now starting to come out in the industry, which is why he decided to do this TV show. And I was like, if we just followed him,
it'd been much better.
I felt like it would have been a little bit better. But it was just like, oh, I don't know anything about this guy. That would have been cool to like, well, I don't know. I can't.
And this is,
I'm not a TV writer, so I don't know.
My lack of knowledge of these type of shows, don't they end up after like the first season figuring out who's kind of like the more popular storylines and following them more than some of the others? Could it not get better?
I don't know. I think the thing is like I think I gave it a shot, and I think I was already. I think even in the middle of it, I was like, I already don't like half of these people.
Yeah.
Just from their own demeanor in it. So I was like, there's no. And I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't have to like everybody, but I gave it a shot, and I think it's just not. I would have liked. I'm going to echo what I just said earlier. That Gay say is like, I would have loved something that was a little more real in a way. They say the real Friends, and I'm like,
it's reality TV.
You're not.
Everybody knows reality TV is not real.
Right, you're not. So, and I think it just would have been better if they would have picked some people who were maybe not like B-list, maybe they were C or D, or maybe they really are kind of like I think there's one guy.
Isn't one of them like the husband of someone famous?
Jonathan Bennett.
Okay.
So James Bond. So I was like, people like him, people like I don't know. I don't know what I would have changed. It's just I do think that a lot of the vitriol they're getting is one, because Tyler Call's on it, and two, because it's not the show's fault, it's MTV's fault, but because of this show, they've shortened Drag Race.
Well, because I noticed that Untucked was after it, so it's like it's Drag Race this
right, but
Untucked.
Have you, mini challenges? Haven't seen them.
Oh, I never even noticed that.
Yeah. The runway is like do, and it's quick.
Oh,
very quick. You know how normally Rue comes in right before the main maxi challenge and kind of mentors people. None of that has happened yet.
No, this last one where Rue came in to talk about like what's your cohesive look. He came in and did that this last week.
This was the first week.
Okay.
Because they had the reading challenge this week too, right?
Yeah.
This is the first week they had a mini. They showed the mini, and they showed Rue coming in.
Well, this was the biggest collection of people they had. Like even with like Snatch Game, they had like the double round Snatch Game, and this is the biggest reading challenge they've ever done, I think.
But see, even if you did look at the reading challenge, everybody got one read. And then you knew who was going to win because the person who won got 3 or 4. So that's part of it. It's like, it just, but you can't blame this show for that. That's MTV's fault. But I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. I didn't really say one thing or the other, but I don't think I'll be watching it.
I gave up after 3 minutes. It did not capture me in the first. Again, I never watched the first one. I didn't see everybody who was in it. I just kind of jumped into the engagement party episode.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. So let's jump into our actual topics.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Netflix CEO who said that they've never canceled a successful show on Netflix.
I want to call BS this right now before we even get into it and why. BS.
Right. And obviously this is based on absolutely no research.
Well,
but I don't know. I guess from what I've read, I guess a little bit of research. From what I've read, I think part of it is how many hours it's viewed within its premiere and how long that viewership is sustained, which to me, with their viewership model, it's hard. I feel like it's hard for a TV show to sustain any kind of viewership because it's binged.
Well, exactly. So if you're wanting longevity, don't put every episode out on the same day.
Exactly.
If that's your main go-to statistic,
right?
Don't.
I don't want to see what the others are. Now maybe it's hey, they dropped off, and then maybe there's like all of a sudden it picks back up. I don't know what their deal is, but like recently they canceled Uncoupled, which was the Neil Patrick Harris show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things they said in there was that it didn't have longevity. Like after it was number 6 in the world in hours the first like week, and then after that it dropped all the way off, and they were like, well, this obviously can't sustain itself, and it's like,
But again, to your point, like this is one where I thought it would have had a little bit of more stay. Like they've had big
which show?
names, pretty smart.
Okay.
You have big names and people that have done successful sitcom shows such as this for multiple seasons and had great viewership. Now I'll give you, it was on like an ABC Family or something that's not like a mainstream TV channel.
Yeah, Pretty Smart had not Haley Joel Osment, but the sister. What's her name? Whatever her name is.
Yeah.
From Hannah
Emily.
Montana, Emily Osment.
Yeah.
And that show honestly did look like I'm like, this is a freeform. Like this is definitely
100%.
a freeform type show.
But she's had 3 to 4 different successful ones on Freeform, very similar. So like,
Right.
okay, you're still gonna get consistent viewership. And isn't the main point of streaming services to have people on your platform for a longer extended period of time?
Right. Yes.
Like,
Yes.
okay.
So I don't know what the most polar. I didn't read all the way through the article because I'm lazy, but I don't know what the most polarizing ones were. Like I did see like there were a few that people were really talking about, and I was like, okay, I would have kissed that bullshit too. Like there was the one about the First Blood, which is like the vampire one.
I just
And
saw
I think
that.
people were just mad because it was gay. And
First Kill.
They were like, these are lesbians. You're canceling all the lesbian shows. So I'm like, I don't believe that. Maybe the show just sucked. But I didn't watch it. I do think it's hard from our perspective to know that because
Yeah.
there are definitely shows on here that I'm like, I would have never watched that. Fate, the Winx saga.
I watched 3 episodes. We were thinking about reviewing it like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And I got 2 and I was like, you know what? This is one that I don't think is going to be super big. We'll put on the back burner. Canceled. But then we have the ones where, what was it? The Stepsister Bounty Hunters.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Bounty Hunters, you guys.
Yeah.
With Hakeem Harris. Like that show was one that I was like, I was really into. What was the actual name of it? I always call it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't see. I think this was like the most recent cancellation.
I think it was called Teenage Mutant. No, it wasn't. It was Teenage
Bounty Hunters.
It was just Teenage Bounty Hunters. But I always wanted to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Bounty Hunters.
But we both loved it.
That was a really good like show. Like
Yeah.
I really thought that was cool. I was actually very surprised when it was canceled.
But and again, it's because they release all episodes at once. They binge it. It gets picked up onto like top 10. And then a week later, maybe 2, because people are binging it, it drops. Well, I'm sorry. What do you expect after a binge-worthy show being binged? They're not going to binge it again
Right.
a week later. You're not going to do that. You may go back a year later and re-binge it. Oh, but look at this point now. It's canceled.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know what I think is weird? Netflix is really the only one right now that isn't doing some sort of delayed episode release. Like Wolfpack, which we'll be reviewing, is releasing week by week on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
And I think like what a lot of these streaming services are doing is they're picking and choosing. Like Peacock does like episode, like weekly episodes.
Like Bel Air was one that was like week to week.
But Traders, they dropped all at once. Like so they're really picking and choosing, but it's no longer exclusive for them to like say we're gonna drop everything. Hulu's How I Met Your Father season 2 came out.
Yeah.
It's week by week. So I think maybe Netflix should adopt that perspective
For their bigger shows.
Right, because I think for me, just go by millions of hours of views to me, and maybe they have something more sophisticated. But to me, I'm like, a way to really judge viewership is like drop it 1 week, drop it 2 weeks, and then you can see whether it drops or comes up, and then you go, okay, now I see what's happening. Or maybe they can see that people drop off after a certain episode. I would assume they could, but who knows?
Let's go to it. And if you haven't started listening to it or haven't listened to our previous one, our 2 week to week like of The Last of Us and from the Game of Thrones episodes, again, week to week. HBO's been doing that for years now. They did it for Game of Thrones. They did it for oh my gosh, I can't think of what's that other one where it was like the androids and you went to Westworld. Like it was always week to week.
They always have their Sunday show. That is a
exactly
show. So I don't know, maybe Netflix needs to figure out their thing. And then plus they ain't coming for my passwords. You gonna be sharing that password, Netflix. Don't fuck with me.
I'm trying to think of how many people actually share my account, and I think I'm up to I think for Netflix I'm up to 4. Disney Plus, I think we've logged in 7 accounts.
I mean, I wouldn't tell yourself here. Man.
I'm just like we've done that stuff
you're
around.
telling yourself. I mean, when you know she get cut off, don't ask why.
We're still paying.
But I don't know. We'll see. This is why I'm always so hesitant to get involved with anything on Netflix because you never know what's going to happen with it. And then what sucks is like you want to be in the conversation with a show that's actually really popular on Netflix, but you also want to wait and see. But then, even if it was going to be a second season, it's going to be a full year before it comes out, and you're not going to know for at least 6 months. So it's like a gamble. I'm like, I don't want to waste my fucking time.
Like, can I just say, Stranger Things, I guess, lucked out because before all this was set in stone, like, I feel like they would have dropped off because
I want to see their numbers.
they're, I think, the #1 show on Netflix.
Show me the receipts for viewership for Stranger Things.
And you can Google it.
I'm not thinking it's bad. I want to fucking know.
You can Google that.
Can you?
Yes.
Will you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So, I think it's time for
Party of 3?
TV Party of 3.
Ooh.
Yay. So, I tried to overthink this.
I was not going to let you slide by without mentioning this.
So, TV Party of 3, for those of you who are new, is based on the show. It's always based on the show that they were reviewing. So if the show we're reviewing is a comic book TV show, this is always the one I go to.
Yeah.
If it's a comic book TV show, like a Marvel show, they were like, what TV show, what are your favorite Marvel TV shows? Or what 3 TV shows think would be the best that aren't made yet? So we kind of make it a category on that. So since we're doing the 90s show, that 90s show as our review, I was like, maybe we should do TV shows that have fully teenage casts, or TV shows that are reboots, or TV shows that are sequels or / reboots. What do you think? And MJ says,
why don't we just do our favorite 90s shows? The whole thing is the reason he put some out there.
I was like,
we both always put at least one option of what it could be out every week.
Yeah, I was like, I without this bullshit, I overdid this assignment. Obviously, I was like, oh, that definitely makes sense because that 90s show, your favorite 90s shows, got it.
Well, and I mean, it's like look, the wheel, it works. You don't have to reinvent it.
You know what? But you could have just left it at that. You have to be a bitch about it. I'm giving you your flowers. I'm gonna take my flowers back.
I can buy myself flowers.
And I'm taking the vase.
I can write my name in the sand.
Ugh, that song is cute.
I like the video's good too.
I do like the
video.
Song.
The song is good and the video's good.
It is a really cute song. I do enjoy it. So, TV Party of 3, favorite 90s TV shows. So this is hard for me because
there's so many good ones.
I just feel like I have to theme it. Like,
yeah.
Like I feel like I have to make it fit the team. Me overthinking again. I'm like, well, it has to be kind of like that 90s show, but it doesn't. It doesn't.
Do you want to start? I feel like I always start. So you go ahead.
First thing I would say is for 90s show, favorite 90s shows, this one kind of mirrors that 90s show a little bit, but, or in my opinion. And would I say that if you'd asked me 10 years ago if this is one of my favorite 90s TV shows, I would say no. But the amount of times I've rewatched this series is ridiculous. And I'm going to say Saved by the Bell. Like, Saved by the Bell was so good. Like, it really is like, it was like half hour, just like, you got Kelly Kapowski, you got Zach Morris, you got Slater, Mario Lopez.
Oh my gosh. Like, I knew you were going to say that.
Saved by the Bell is like the show, like, if I need, there's that show that I feel like this is your How I Met Your Mother. Like, if I just need something, just Saved by the Bell is it. And I still, to this day, giggle at every fucking episode. I'm not talking about I'm not talking about season 1 with Miss Bliss. That bullshit don't.
What about the spring break where they're all working on the beach?
Where they're working at Malibu Sands.
You still watch
yes, Malibu Sands.
I love that.
Do I watch Saved by the Bell in Hawaii? Of course I do. Do I fall off at the college years? A little bit, but I do still enjoy the college years.
The college years were good.
They were good. Like, I'm Saved by the Bell as a whole is like the most rewatchable 90s show ever. I love it. I love Saved by the Bell. Could not get enough.
Okay.
Cannot get enough.
So I'm going to preface, and you're going to roll your eyes because you say I always do this.
Okay.
I was like between the ages of 1 and 10 when I was in the 90s.
I get that.
So keep in mind, some of mine might be a little weird, but also keep that in mind when I say my decisions. And again, these are in no particular order, but Diagnosis Murder.
What is that?
It's Dick Van Dyke, where he played a doctor in a I don't remember the hospital, but his son was a detective, and he helped his son solve murders as a doctor.
How old? How cute? This doesn't sound like it's what is that?
I'll pull it up.
I don't think. I'm just confused. You're a child. I don't understand how you were allowed to watch that.
My dad.
Diagnosis Murder.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Keep going. I'm sorry. I just don't like it.
But it was Dick Van Dyke. I never watched the Dick Van Dyke Show.
I mean, that's fine.
I really liked it. I don't know. It just really sat with me, and it was one of those,
DVD.
But it was literally one of those where I just every night, because they'd have like a little bit of like a marathon almost before I'd go to bed. Back on like what was it, Oxygen or something? Like that was one of these shows.
Of course you okay. Great. Good job. I guess.
Oh, look at this. I forgot. I didn't realize this. So Dolores Hall was played by Dolores Mitchell.
What?
The name of the character. Oh, never mind. So yeah, Dolores Hall, played Dolores Mitchell. They just gave her same name.
Oh, well.
Better, and it had Dick Van Dyke's actual son as the cop. Just don't hate.
Am I hating?
You're hating.
I'm not.
Go on. What's your next choice?
My next choice is like this is a really hard. I almost have to have 4 because like
is Party of 3?
I know
there were no extra invites. You cannot bring up an extra one.
I think I think you'll allow me this. I don't think you can talk about best 90s shows without mentioning the Power Block.
You're gonna dig a block into
TGIF.
Okay.
You had Family Matters. You had Step by Step. You had Perfect Strangers. You had that other 4th show that I can't remember right now. But the TGIF block, those were the best. Those were some of the best shows.
When I
say I know it's one show, but TGIF Full House, like that 4 block,
here's the thing. When I started watching TGIF, it was like the Lopez show, like George Lopez. Like that's what it jumped when I had done TGIF.
No, I'm talking early 90s TGIF.
Okay.
Family Matters, Urkel.
Of course.
Step by Step, Suzanne Summer.
Yes.
With her Thigh Master.
Sure.
Cody was cute.
Look,
that cousin Cody.
I will allow this because it's the block of them together.
And then what was the third one I just said? Perfect Strangers.
Yep.
Standing tall. Sorry. Oh God.
Okay. So I will allow it.
Of my dreams.
I will allow that.
Can we write theme songs? Like, can we get theme songs back? I really want theme songs back. Like, full on, where we get some girl who has no real reputation in singing at all to, like, belt.
And that's her one claim to fame.
Exactly. That's the shit that I want back. So, yes, that's number 2 for me.
And I'm going to have to go here again because I was in that age. I'm going to go Rugrats.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Why didn't you do Snick?
Huh?
Why didn't you do Snick? Saturday Night Nick.
I forgot about Snick.
Oh my God. Are You Afraid of the Dark? This is too hard. This is too difficult.
90s had such good shows.
Are You Afraid of the Dark? Come on. What was in Snick? Was Rugrats in Snick?
Snick
I'm less familiar with.
All I remember was like All Real Monsters, Rocko's Modern Life, Rugrats, like that whole Nickelodeon block. Like it's hard to pick, but if I had to pick one, it'd be Rugrats.
Yeah.
But then like you had all those good ones.
Yeah, you did.
Nick was so good.
It was. Oh my gosh, Rugrats, Toppy Pickles.
Yeah.
Angelica. I like to fancy myself as an Angelica.
Lil and Phil.
That was probably
the twins. Chucky.
Phil and Well.
Okay, tell me why the creators of the show made the baby Chucky kind of resemble the Chucky doll.
For funsies, I guess.
It had to be.
Or which came first?
Oh.
I don't know. Ponder.
I'm gonna look that up later.
So number 3. You guys.
Do I have to even guess, really?
You guys know that Marshall Geller is the best person ever created because I saw a video of this week because she's promoting Wolfpack.
Oh, Mother.
And she was like, explain to me Mother. And they were like, you are Mother. Like, they were like, because you are Buffy. You are it. You're Mother. Yeah. You started all of it.
Slaying vampires in stilettos.
In stilettos. In short mini skirts with the blowout. Like on that TikTok that I saw.
Yes.
I was like, yes, you said it correctly. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, to this day, is one of the best 90s TV shows ever created. They could never have had that one show with Jessica Alba if it wasn't for Buffy. What was it, Dark Angel or
just no? Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. I'll look it up. Yeah.
Couldn't have had that. Couldn't have had Dollhouse with Eliza Dushku afterwards, who was on Buffy. Like Vampire Diaries has specifically lifted whole scenes and storylines from Buffy on their show. Like,
I never watched the show, so I didn't know that.
any of that without Buffy. Buffy is an amazing show. And I almost put another TGIF and said the Tuesday night block on CW.
With Buffy and Angel?
The Tuesday night block on WB. No, with Buffy. And then it was it?
I thought it was Buffy then Angel.
I thought it was Buffy then Dawson's Creek.
See, I was never around for Dawson. So Dawson's, again, may have been off when I started watching that.
Or was Buffy Tuesdays and Dawson's Creek was Wednesdays? I don't remember.
Dawson was the one I missed.
I think that was on Wednesdays. I'll have to think about it. Regardless, it's Buffy.
So my third, I don't know. I toiled with this one.
Okay.
Because, again, look at the two examples I've given. Did I want to go with the thing I watched with my dad all the time, Walker, Texas Ranger?
Okay.
Or did I want to go with the thing that I watched with me and my brother, Power Rangers?
Oh, I forgot about Power Rangers.
Like, dude, I don't know. I'm gonna go give it to Power Rangers because I feel like I could remember more about that currently.
I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
But how can you not? Like, go back and look at some of the Power Rangers.
Especially with the recent death.
I know. But, like, Tommy as Green Ranger and Jason, like, oh, just the classic. Negating the fact that if people hadn't noticed, the Black Ranger's black, the Yellow Ranger's Asian. Like, we'll ignore that.
Problematic.
But it was such a good show.
God, you guys, I rewatched that randomly, like a few.
It's one of those that you let your memories.
I threw it on just in the background.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jason was.
It's one of those ones that I sat there and I was like, you know what?
Yes.
I'm gonna let this sit in my memories because it did not hold up.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
It's horrible, but it does hold up.
It's good, but it's bad.
Red Ranger Jason, that body.
It was that. Hey, that's what made people want to get into karate back in the day.
God, he was gorgeous. You're welcome.
All right, you want to jump into our review?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, everybody. This week we are taking a look at Netflix original That 90's Show.
Yes. So for those of you who don't,
you were all so excited about the 90's shows, like we were talking about before, and then I told what the show was, and you're just like, "Yeah." So here's what we're gonna do. You got very like
it's called levels.
Okay, bottoming out.
What?
You bottomed out, like you're like up here, and then okay, we're gonna talk about this level down here.
First of all, how dare you? That's homophobic. Second of all, levels. Okay. So That 90's Show is a sequel.
Yes.
Wildly popular. Was it wildly popular?
I enjoyed it.
I never saw it. That 70's Show.
It's actually the second sequel.
Is it?
They tried to do a spinoff of That 80's Show, and it got like 3 years. It did that like 4-episode like sample, and no one picked it up afterwards.
Oh, so it never aired.
No, it was on TV. Like they signed like the first 4, and then I think that was like the first season, and they just never renewed it.
Oh.
So there was an 80's Show, or That 80's Show. Yeah.
Wow. This one is That 90's Show. It's on Netflix, which means it'll be canceled in 8 days.
I'll get into that, but yeah.
Let's go into the cast.
Okay. So we'll just go ahead and say, for all those That 70's Show fans, there is a lot of cameos in the show. Yeah, we'll kind of gloss over, but you have your standards, your Red Foremans, your Kitty Foremans, your Erics, your Donnas. You have your standard That 70's Show people. Let's jump into the new cast.
Well, I think it's worth saying that because those are cameos. But Red and Kitty are fixtures in the show.
Every
so
episode.
They're returning cast members. So yes, other the kids do cameo, yes.
Yeah, except for one.
There were only 1 episode so far.
Well, there's one out of the original cast who did not come back to the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But we do have cameos from the original cast, but there are 2 original cast members who came back for the show for every episode.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Kurtwood Smith and
Deborah Jo Rupp
playing Red and Kitty Foreman.
Which classic couple. Love the couple.
Yeah.
You never watched That 70's Show.
I didn't watch it at all. No reference point.
Okay, so then jumping into the new cast.
Yes.
So we start off with Leia Foreman, who is the son of Eric and Donna. Or sorry, daughter of Eric and Donna. Right. And Eric's the son of Kitty and Red.
Yeah. And props to this casting department for actually picking people who were between the ages of 15 and 18 to play these kids who are between the ages of 15 and 18.
Exactly. They look realistic.
When I looked them up, I was like, I love that this trend is swinging back around or finally reaching America, because having a 28-year-old play a 16-year-old is not it, in my opinion.
Even if you look 18, you're still not a 16-year-old.
I think it's okay for age. I think as long as the ages are there.
Yeah.
I think it's fine, even if you kind of look older, because I've gone to some of my nephew's high school basketball games, and I'm like, that's a freshman. That kid looks like he could literally pick me up. And I'm not talking about fat kids. I'm talking about just like a normal person.
I had a friend in middle school who had a full beard by the time he was in 7th, and literally one of the teachers stopped him and said, "Sir, you have to leave your kids your kids at the door."
Yeah. So I think it's okay, but I love that this cast is all between the ages of 15 and 18. Sorry, continue.
Okay, and then taking over what was Donna's house as like Eric's kind of best friend, go next door, is Gwen Runick, played by Ashley. I cannot say this last name. Heidi.
Mm-hmm. We'll call it Ashley A.
Yeah, Afterhide.
Alvider Singh.
Sure, but she plays Gwen.
What does Alvider Singh mean?
Goodbye.
What's the one that's? Oh, it's Gesundheit.
Are we having the Hills Are Alive moment over here?
I've never seen that.
Sound of Music.
I don't. Oh, the hills have eyes. I don't just say the hills have eyes.
No, the Hills Are Alive of music. Yeah.
The hills are alive with the sound of music.
You actually kind of hit that like quavering nun sound.
What songs they have sung? Sorry, that's all I know.
That's a horrible movie, in my opinion.
You're welcome. You see how better it's getting better? Yes, you're welcome. Who's next?
I'm gonna jump down a little bit here because technically Gwen has a brother, and they don't give his last name.
Okay,
but it's Nate, played by Maxwell Ace Donovan.
He was so cute.
But they don't give him his character doesn't have a last name.
I know,
which is weird because they're separate fathers, so I guess they don't want to give his last name in case.
I was very confused. We'll get into it. I was very confused.
Moving on though,
we have Nate's girlfriend Nikki,
played by Sam Morales,
which I guess she's supposed to be the Mila Kunis. I would assume, right?
Yeah. So like Leia definitely takes over the personality of Eric. Gwen, in my opinion, takes Hyde. The stoner guy who's about music and like later on in the series opens like a radio shop.
Who is that?
He's the one guy who didn't come back as a cameo.
I didn't get a picture of that. I didn't get a picture of that person. He must have stopped acting after that 90s show. You don't need to. I don't need to.
But Hyde, I think Gwen's the Hyde.
Okay.
Obviously Nate is the Ashton Kutcher character of this.
But see, I didn't think that.
He's the dumb pretty boy dating the pretty girl.
Okay.
And then, like I said, Nikki is going to be...
Not me disagreeing. I've never seen that 70s show.
Well, yeah. But
I'm like, I don't think so. I would...
This is how I place them.
I would say.
But no, Nikki, like you said, I definitely agree, is the Mila Kunis kind of counterpart.
Okay.
And then the last two of the kids group, you have Jay Kelso, played by Mace Cornell.
See, I thought he was supposed to be the Kelso because he's a Kelso.
Yes and no, but he's a lot sweeter and like more sentimental than Kelso was.
Okay.
And he's dating the Eric, so I'm going to put him as the Donna.
Okay.
Which is like the redhead.
Okay.
And then we have...
I know who Laura Prepon is.
Yeah. So I'm going to put him more as the Donna.
I know who Topher Grace is.
And then we have possibly one of the best characters of the entire show, Ozzy, who's replacing Fez.
And played by Raymond Doy.
Yes.
In case you guys didn't... If you guys have not watched Bourbon Stir, go to Vista Del Mar. And remember the opening scene of the kid on the bike, and he's like, "Out on the street, everybody."
That's him.
In the heartache of their road. Yes, that's him.
No.
Yes,
I didn't know that. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Because somebody said it, and I was like, "That doesn't even look like him." But then I could watch the scene from Bourbon Star, and I was like, "Oh my god, that is him."
That's crazy.
Love it.
And the only other person I'm gonna mention, just because they're in there on a more regular basis, is Nate and Gwen's mother, Sherry Runick, who is played by Andrea Anders.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So this is obviously kind of structured, which I would assume exactly like the regular show, which there is
very similar.
They've lifted a lot of things. There are things that even though I've never watched the show that I know about. Like there's definitely the whole aspect of sitting the camera directly in the middle, letting them get stoned, and moving the camera around back and forth.
Yes. Okay.
Right?
Yes. Which like
Am
in
I-
the basement normally. Yes, it's always been in the basement,
I was
and
like, am I wrong?
it's always been like a foggy background, so that it makes it like there's smoke down there.
Yeah.
But that's where they played the trope, like when they were upstairs and Donna, Eric, and Red and Kitty were playing cards, and smoke was in the background
Yeah.
because something was burning. They're playing on that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So they obviously play on that. It's obviously that the 24, 25-minute show. And they really cram in a lot of cameos in the first episode.
Oh, a lot.
Like, it was like, we've got to get everybody in right now.
Eric,
which
Donna, Kitty, Red, Ashton, like everybody.
Yeah, and that's where I was kind of like, that's what gave me pause at the beginning. I was like, this seems a little like
the first couple episodes are very much like cameo of the week.
I was like, can you can you edge us a little bit? Just like we don't have to go right now. We could we could take our time.
Exactly.
We don't have to do this now. There's 10 episodes. Let's hold off for a little bit. Let's hold back. Let's make it last, but it's good. Like why do we have to do it right now?
Well, and
so,
again, I do, but there were two people that I watching this. I was like, why are they not here? One was being Hyde, which was one of the other like stand like from
still know who that is.
but like pulling him up, like he was one of these standard every episode kids from
Masterson.
Yeah,
I know who that is.
Yeah.
I know who that is. Got it. Yeah, I got it.
I was mad he wasn't there. And then when they had the episode where Bob, the other grandparent of Leia, so like Donna's dad, I was like, oh, where's Donna's mom? Because Donna's mom was always like the dumb, kind of goofy, which was replaced kind of by Sherry. She died before this got taped. That's why she wasn't in it. And that's why they kind of had to,
Yeah. Okay.
So I was like, okay, I get why she's not in it.
Yeah.
Where's Hyde?
Well, maybe you got shit to do.
Yeah.
So basically, how they kind of work this and get it in is they kind of say, okay, you know what? Donna and Eric come for a visit with Leia, and it's the beginning of the summer. And
4th of July.
Yeah. And they're like, look at all the memories we had in this house, blah, 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 blah. So all those conversations kind of say, hey, why don't we let Leia stay here for the summer?
Well, they were gonna go to space camp, her and Eric, and that's where she was like, "No, I met this person next door. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm about to go into like second year high school, I think, like sophomore.
Maybe so.
And she's like, I want to have time with my friends.
Right.
I want to grow a little bit.
Yeah. She's kind of a nerd. She doesn't have She doesn't have a lot of friends. I would think.
Yeah, she was like, I'm debate club. I know all about Star Wars because my dad is a teacher in Chicago who teaches a class on Star Wars.
Yeah. So she ends up staying with Kitty and Red for the summer to build her friendships or what have you.
And her relationships with her grandparents.
Right. So let's also discuss, obviously there's the fact that Nikki and Nate are dating, right?
Yeah.
And then as one of the other big things is like Jay Kelso obviously is carrying around his father's reputation in Kitty and Red's eyes.
Yeah, well, everybody, even in the kids, like the friends that they have, everybody's like, he's a player.
But didn't they say he has been? Like, didn't he admit that he's been a player?
Yeah,
like, he's done that, but he's like, I can change a little bit. Like, I could change,
which is what a Kelso would never admit.
Right. So that was one thing that, like, so they obviously are playing up this thing with Leia and Jay, which I thought they were gonna like edge also, but that.
Well, with 10 episodes, you can't really limit it that much.
But give me something to look forward to.
Well, but again, let's get back to the conversation, and we can throw this in now. If you don't have a second season, what do you have to pan that out?
Give me something to look forward to.
Again, at this point, like they even left this open-ended as if this could be the only season.
That's like the new thing now.
Or it could continue on. Because again, if Netflix is going to pull that trigger and cancel everything the week after it airs, well, sorry. There may not be a second season.
True. So let's talk about some of the other, like, what are some of the highlights in the season for me, or this series for me. Really, I think one of them, as the gay person in the room, was the coming out episode with Ozzy. And,
well, because they tell you from the very first episode he's gay.
Or you just assume.
Well, I think Gwen told Leia first episode.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm on this 17 step, process where
17
one of the steps is telling randos, like telling strangers. And, he's like, yes, I like to order a pizza. Also, I'm gay. Like, it's just like, just telling strangers, getting comfortable. So the next one is like, he's like, now,
telling someone you see on a regular basis.
tell us when you see him on a regular basis. He's trying to work up to telling his parents.
Yeah.
So he decides he's helping Kitty set up her AOL email.
Which is her computer in general.
You've got mail.
Oh, can I get mail? Oh my goodness. Like,
love that. You know what? I think we need to bring back.
Can we just talk about every time how she like randomly like triple clicked restart and she's like, oh, well, I got 10 minutes. And she like walked off it.
Girl, and you know what's dumb? It's my work laptop. Will take 10 minutes to restart. I'm like, so we haven't come that far.
No,
when
we
it comes
really
to
haven't.
Restarting laptops or computers, might I say. Can someone get on that?
Oh, I love it.
He's using that to kind of come out.
To butter her up a little bit.
Yeah, and I actually thought that was a really cute episode because they didn't focus on it too much. They didn't make it this weird, sappy thing.
Yeah.
But I just love, I love any depiction of a grown-up person reacting the way they should react to a kid who's coming out to them, whether they be gay, trans, bi, what have you.
Well, the fact that
I
she
just
like
love anything like that.
the fact that she just like looks at him and Katie's like, you just made me feel very special. Because like the fact that you're willing to share that with me.
Exactly. Like she was like,
it's a big moment for him.
I feel special. I feel privileged to be able to be able to you told. So that to me is like, it was just a really cute, really, really cool moment in my opinion.
Well, it just shows that he trusts her.
Yeah.
And I like that.
I like the way they did that. I thought they didn't do too much fuss.
No.
There's like, here's what we're going to do. And they did it. And I thought it was cute.
I will say that there are the things I liked about the show, I think were, I feel like Red and Kitty stole the show personally.
Yeah.
So the things that they were in or helped with kind of were the bigger points to watch. But I love the fact that like what you see with Red carried over every episode. Like the one where he got in an accident and the rest of the season he walked with a cane. Like it was just really cleverly done.
I would like to just take a pause in the conversation to
talk about our Bay of the Weeks.
Kitty and Red. Kitty and Red. They and you know what sucks? You know what kind of sucks? It's like they didn't give the other kids a chance.
Oh, at all.
And part of it is that they have an advantage because they've done this together before.
Yeah.
Yes, but you could also argue that it's been a couple of decades. And the fact that these two, to me, even though I didn't see the beginning,
they did not miss a step.
It felt like they've been together forever. And those two back and forth, just boom, 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 boom.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if I was going to add Red in. I was for sure Kitty. Kitty hands down. Okay,
both.
I was going to question, but the one that sold me on Kitty as for sure Bay of the Week was that episode where she's cleaning out all of her like Red's belongings to give to the church, and she comes in and Nate's like walks to the door and she goes, I need your big strong muscles now, and he goes, oh, Mrs. Foreman, I'm flattered, but like I have a girlfriend, and she just goes, oh, sweetie, you wouldn't know what to do with this. That line, I can tell you the line that's so like Bay of the Week right there.
I think that they played so well together. So for me, it was
easily.
I knew immediately with those two.
Yes,
for sure. So let's discuss, and we're kind of organically flowing into whether we think this show is a watch or not. But and I touched on it earlier, but and I know you're gonna say this, and you're gonna think this is not gonna make any sense. But I thought the kid that played Nate was the cutest guy ever.
I mean, he was like the dorky, like chubby, hasn't hit puberty kind of yet guy.
Because you know what kind of guy I think Eric Gorgeous is.
Well, yeah.
He is not that. But there's something about that kid's like facial structure. I think he's very good looking. I'm saying very good looking because I can't remember if he's 17 or 18. I'm trying not to cross the line. To be honest.
Let's find out.
But like, I think he's just like a really good looking kid. And I actually think he did really well.
He was born in 2005.
So depends on what his birthday's in.
May.
Yeah, he's 17. Great.
We're just not going to talk about
But if it wasn't those two, I think he was probably the most natural acting out of all of the kids, in my opinion.
He played the dumb jock perfectly.
I think he was the best actor.
Yeah.
Out of all of the kids. Like,
I can agree with that.
I love Rainbow. and I liked Ozzy. I think he did really well with it, but I think the most like the one that did the best, I think by a hair, really was the guy who played Nate.
Nate was one of my favorite characters. I will admit, Leia and Jay got on my nerves a little bit.
I'm gonna raise you. I'm gonna say Leah, Jay, and Gwen got on my nerves. Like those three, the acting between. I'm sorry, I know they're kids,
but I liked
like,
Gwen
can
had
we
some
bring
redeeming
back
episodes.
abusing children so they do really well in acting? I'm kidding. I don't mean that at all. But what did we do with child actors back then? Like they were so good. Like these three annoyed me, and they weren't even like. For me, Leia, it wasn't. I think it was more Gwen than anybody because I feel like Gwen didn't understand comedic timing. Because there were definitely times when she was on screen where I'm like, girl, you're on screen. Like, you've got to be acting in the background. Like, give me something. And she just didn't react to the dialogue being said to her very well or at all.
Well, and her character just came off extremely selfish. I get your dad is divorced to your mother. He lives out, or you see him very rarely. So you want to hold on to what you have. But like the fact that she couldn't grasp that, okay, Leia, yeah, she's your best friend, but she has obviously more to the friend group. She has a boyfriend. Like she seemed very like clingy and jealous the whole time.
I'm not that part doesn't bother me. I'm talking specifically about the acting itself. The storylines were fine for me. I didn't really have an issue with the storylines.
Gwen had some redeeming, like when her and Kitty, after they pick up Kitty from the dentist, like that whole like where they're singing in the back. She's like, I don't know the words, but all the old people really like these songs. Like she had some decent redeeming points.
She had good lines written for her, but she could not perform them the correct way.
Okay.
That like that whole scene, I was like, this is like she like Ozzy, Rainbow would have killed it. Nate, the guy who plays Nate, what's his name? Maxwell,
yeah,
would have killed it. She's just not up to par with everybody else. She to me is on the bottom, and then I think it goes Leia, and then it goes Jay, and then it goes Nikki, and then Ozzy and Nate are almost even for me.
I just like Ozzy because of the boyfriend in Canada that everybody's like, that's not real, and then you see him on the phone, and then like towards the end, he's like, do you know how much it costs to call your boyfriend in Canada all the time? Well, your grandparents are about to find out. Like, like just selling these lines.
And he's speaking a little bit of French. Like, so I thought that was cool too.
But let's talk about Nikki for a second because
Nikki was the smart.
Well, here's the thing. Was she? I feel like she took a very drastic like 180 halfway through the season because she was like, "Oh, I'm the pretty girl. because." Mila Kunis in the original one was never about school. It was always about your looks, get the pretty boy, blah, blah. Randomly, when school started to get closer and closer, I feel like Nikki took a harsh, very like whiplash-inducing 180.
But Nikki has layers. Is she not allowed to have layers?
She is, but it's the fact that you bring her out to be like, I'm the pretty girl, and you're kind of like fit that archetype that was previously on the show. And then you go to, being in the school prior to anybody else gives me, jazzes me up a little bit. And I'm studying for the SATs and I got to make sure I get a good job or into a good college. Like none of that was shown. And then it was just, it's all here. Like it wasn't like led into slowly. It felt very like jarring to me.
I can understand that. I can understand that. So for me, I think if I had to say whether this show was watchable or not, I would say it's watchable.
Yeah.
Is it one of my favorites? No. And I don't think that me not having a real connection to that Stephanie show would even have helped. I think for me, I think I'm very critical as a non-actor of acting for whatever reason.
Well, true.
But it just, I just couldn't like they focused a lot on Gwen, I think, at the beginning, and I just didn't find her acting to be convincing at all. And I know it's supposed to be a sitcom and funny, but I'm like, there needs to be some kind of comedic timing. I would have directed them a little bit better.
What credits does she have to her name before this?
Anything? I don't know. It might be their first kind of thing, but then I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't. I think that would be the only that would make me weird. It's like starting it off, it's kind of rough, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty much all she's done.
I think it starts to gel a little bit more as it goes on with her specifically. But I think there were some of them that got it right off the bat. Like they knew what they were doing, they understood the assignment, and they worked it the whole way through. Kitty, Red, Nate, Ozzy knew it.
Done.
But I think that would be my only thing is that you're not gonna love the acting in this, but I'm judging this based on the fact that there were a few times where I was like, I chortled.
You had some good giggling moments.
I chortled.
Yeah, I get it.
A little, like I was like,
Okay.
You
guffawed.
I didn't guffaw. I did not guffaw.
Oh, you gotta love a good guffaw.
This
though.
was not guffaw worthy. I did not guffaw.
Again, the line from Kitty that you wouldn't know what to do with this, like the Kitty moments, I guffawed at.
Some of those kids didn't know what to do with this. Like they didn't know, and that's where I'm at. But I will say, if you need something like, I mean, it's cute.
So are you giving it a watch or not?
I mean, y'all can watch it. Are you gonna be satisfied? I don't know.
What?
You can watch it.
Okay.
I mean, watch it. Just watch it.
I'm gonna echo your opinion. It's watchable. You can get through it. Having watched that 70s show, I definitely saw what they were trying to do and almost kind of recreate it and get that spark again. I don't think these kids, in the limited time they had and the limited amount of number of episodes they had, got that same spark as you saw with Eric, Donna, Hyde, Kelso. Like you didn't have that same chemistry.
To be fair to this cast,
yes,
with that, we are now forcing casts to really gel very quickly in a very small number of episodes. So to be fair, I will give that, because that 70 show season 1 is probably 22 episodes, 22 full 30-minute episodes.
Probably.
You have a lot of time to figure out what works, to learn each other's
and to bring in characters slowly and build in because okay, in the original one, okay, obviously Ashton Kutcher's playing the dumb pretty boy, but then you layer in this and then you layer in this, and you just find out things about Kelso as you go, where in this season you just had to be like, here's everything, take it for what it is.
Right, which I think that having a drama that's 8 to 10 episodes makes more sense.
Yeah.
To me, because I think about a drama that's an hour long. If this was a sitcom, it'd be half hour. That would be 20 episodes. So why aren't sitcoms at least 15 or 16 episodes? I feel like they should be. They're shorter. It makes more sense. And it's comedy for the most part. So they need that time to gel comedically. So 10 episodes to me, that's another thing. Netflix, point number 2, I would like you to get off of this 8 to 10 episode thing. Like Disney Channel was on that 6 episode bullshit that I don't like. They need to be, hey, if it's a comedy, let's do the comedy. Do 15 episodes. Let's give these people time.
You realize I'm going to label this episode Notes to Netflix.
They should. They need to take some fucking notes.
I'm labeling this Notes to Netflix.
Y'all need to take some notes. Y'all need to understand. I mean, the biggest thing you all have done that have innovated was stop sending out DVDs back in 2007. I mean, can we continue the innovation? You have been innovating lots of things. Yeah. Let's go back to a 16 episode season of sitcom. Why don't you be the first to do that?
Like you said, though, if you did an hour episode of drama for 10 episodes,
trademark.
That's 20. If you do a half hour season, maybe make it 12. So it's 6 full hour. You need to have a good median. Yes. You don't need the full 22. You don't need all filler.
It's simple math. Move the decimal point.
But have some decent amount where you can give the cast time to gel.
I learned a really cool trick about percentages yesterday.
Oh, please tell me.
So what's 9% of 400?
9% of 400?
Yeah.
Is 4% of 900, isn't it?
What?
No, go. I've seen this trick.
9% of 400. So what you do is you say percent means per 100. Yeah. So you take the 9 and you multiply it by 4 because there's 400. So 9 times 4 is 36. 36 is 9% of 400.
Oh, look at you.
I learned that yesterday.
I like it. That has nothing to do with our discussion, but I like it.
You're welcome.
I'll take it to my grave.
So there we go. It's watchable for me.
It's watchable.
Watch. Yeah, it's cute. You guys might enjoy it.
But again, is there gonna be a season 2? I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Netflix will decide.
They'll figure it out.
They left it, like I said, very open ended to where it could not be.
Yeah. So, all right, well, thank you all for tuning in. Please remember we will have a new episode of The Last of Us, episode 3 recap coming out in a few days. And in a couple weeks, we'll be back with another regular-sized episode with the show that will be announced on that episode.
I think you already announced it.
Did I?
Mother?
No, it's weekly. Can't do it.
Oh, okay.
Paramount Plus doing weekly shit.
Oh, good. Yeah. Look at you, Paramount Plus.
I know, right?
Okay.
I watched episode 1. So,
don't tell too much.
With that, we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, bye. You've been listening to Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
Interact and give us suggestions on what to watch at watchornotpodcast@gmail.com.
You can follow us on Twitter at watchornot_pod.
And don't forget about Instagram, you guys, at watchornotpod.
Don't forget you can support the pod by joining our Patreon at Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
And subscribe and leave a review wherever you guys listen to podcasts. Talk to you soon.